Hello, good evening. Welcome to Constituency Connect here on Pan-African Television. My name is Ivy Abnadidinakite. So you know that Constituency Connect is aired every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 o'clock p.m. to 6 p.m. here on your favorite television, Pan-African Television. Last Tuesday, we discussed situations surrounding the Efutu constituency, and we had in the studio with us Kofi Annan, Dr. Kofi Annan. He is the NDC parliamentary candidate for the Efutu constituency. Today is going to be a different thing altogether. Don't forget that the text messages line is 0260846539, 0260846539. My name is Ivy Abnadidinakite, and I'm doing this with my colleague.
All right, so my name is Ivan Bans, and Bans Avan, yes. And is your member of parliament or leadership working assiduously to bring to the fore the promises that they made to you prior to the 2016 general election, specifically parliamentary election? Well, if that is happening, yes, this is the show that seeks to bring light to specific constituencies and obviously expose the ills and challenges and of course plights that constituents and residents are facing. This is the #1 show that brings you exactly what that is all about. My name is Ivan Bans. Now today we are touching base with the good people of Agona. Yes, today we are taking you straight to the Agona West constituency. We'll be speaking to some people. We'll be speaking to some people within their constituencies, and they've been telling us exactly what is happening. There's been numerous of issues surrounding their constituencies, from some demonstrations to some arrests and all that. We'll be looking at all those issues pretty soon, and obviously we'll have an interaction with the parliamentary candidates for the National Democratic Congress, representing the Agona West constituency, who is in the person of Mr. Paul Ofori Amwa, pretty much honorable yet. Honorable Paul Ofori Amwa. We'll be having an interaction with him as time goes on. But Ivy,
Ivan.
yes, today, like I said, we're touching base with the good people of Agona, West constituency, largely Agona Swedro. Yes, for me, I have been peeved and very worried since last night till now. About the issue that happened with George Floyd. He was killed by some white police. So I've been extremely worried about it, and I've been blasting and attacking white people and government a lot of time, ever since. But I mean, let's leave that for some other time. But we're touching base with the good people of Agona Swedro, and one of the issues that they have raised has to do with roads. Ivy, it looks like day in and day out to sit here and we talk about issues of roads. It's getting too much. It's becoming like 1 million. I mean, each and every time, every constituencies that we try to visit and talk to them about their plight and challenges. One of the key things that comes up, as the conversation goes on, has to do with roads, and it's not just about mere talks, but we see them for ourselves. We visit very much developed. And I think the issue with Agona Swedro, West constituency is extremely different, because this one has escalated to some other matters and all that. We'll be discussing that pretty shortly. But I want your take on all these things.
Okay, Ivan, poor road network. You see, I've always been talking about poor road network. I'm much concerned about.
I know you're a strong advocate for deployable roads and all that.
Yes, here in this country. When you go to my hometown, New Abrim, from Nkoko to New Abrim, Ivan.
That's your hometown.
Yes, that was where I was born.
So I think this is extremely serious.
Ivan,
like when you live, there's poor road. Where your mother lives.
Where my mother lives, Kaswa Opekuma, poor road.
You hardly have to cross the street.
I'm surrounded with poor roads.
I think it's a problem. It's a big problem.
It's a major problem. That's why I'm always talking about poor road network. Because 73% of roads in this country are in deplorable state. Ivan. But I learned this year was being dedicated for road net. So
it looks like you're not seeing anything.
You're not seeing anything.
Would it attribute it to, COVID-19, given the fact that COVID-19 came and a lot of things have to be halted?
I don't buy that idea.
Why don't you buy into that idea?
Ivan, people are still working. You and myself are still here. We are working, right? So what stops them from constructing roads?
You could also appreciate the fact that a lot of funds that perhaps could have been put into the
so they are using road money for.
No, I'm not saying they are using. I'm not saying they are using. I'm saying perhaps maybe certain funds that could be allocated to construction of some specific roads probably would have to be, as it were, attribute or better still put into fighting some other matters that have also escalated within this whole COVID-19 pandemic
I don't
period.
buy that idea.
I mean,
I don't buy that idea, Ivan. Our roads needs to be constructed. Ivan, day in and day out, we record cases of road accidents. Ivan, that is my problem. Road accidents. Yesterday, my mom was telling me about some road accidents. Ivan, she showed me pictures.
It was as a result of bad roads and all that.
I think the driver tried escaping some pothole.
Yeah.
And he ended colliding with some truck. Ivan, it's a very serious situation. Poor road network in Ghana is a serious situation. So I'm much concerned about road network.
We're strong advocates.
Ivan, you know, when it rains, I'm not able to go home.
Oh, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
not able to go home. Last time we visited my constituency.
And I remember, it was extremely bad.
Ivan, extremely bad. So for me,
and it had poor drainage systems as well.
You see, it all boils down to poor road network.
Yeah. I think largely, you know, when we want to attribute, or we are going to attribute, I mean, various accidents to road networks and all that, it pretty much makes sense, because personally I've also advocated for the fact that most of our roads should be dualized, not just, you know, a single road. And you know, when you look at the Kumasi stretch and all that, it's not been dualized and all that. It's just been in a single stretch and all that, and it's causing a lot of accidents. But that's not even the case. The issue right now is about our roads not being constructed, not being asphalted, having a lot of potholes, thereby causing a lot of road accidents and all that.
And so
it's becoming extremely worrying.
Use quality materials in constructing.
No, the contractors are also saying that they're not being paid their necessary, as it were, wages to be able to get the roads constructed and all that. So largely these issues come from different sectors to form what we have now, as we have in poor road networks and all that. So we cannot generally attribute it to one person, or maybe the member of parliament. Like you say, the member of parliament will tell you that I'm not directly responsible, or better still, in charge of construction of road. It is mainly the work of the assembly and certain leadership within the constituencies and all that. Their duty is just to go to parliament and lobby to be able to get the roads done. But Ivy, let's not talk too much, right? Let's go for a quick commercial break. We'll turn shortly with some more interaction. So stay with us, we'll be right back.
Oh, it's incredible! Bang on target!
Hello?
Oh, sound.
Okay, why? My wife comes and send a message. Hello? I didn't know. What's happened?
It's a child who will be a quiet say what? I did
Besides, when a friend, I'm so young. My wife is not testing messages here. And our office also, I'm still a diamond. She says, I
mean, so we a guy man, and may young who could look rare. And also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's it then? Family Drilling Company Limited.
Ye two borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Yinaso, ye be, Frey 0240 333 111, and that's 0244 144 822.
Me and Pa and you want swimming pool me see? Me want to, me be BA. Family Drilling now. Family Drilling. Me out with that.
Right, so welcome back from that quick commercial break. If you're just joining, this is still Constituency Connect right here on Pan-African Television. My name is Ivan Bands Aban. Now, if you're watching us now, you can join us in the conversation by sharing with us your thoughts and comments on the WhatsApp number 0260846539, 0260846539. We're live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. You can join in and share your comments as well. We're streaming live on YouTube at Pan-African Television. Of course, streaming live across 32 African countries. Now, we've been joined in the studios by Mr. Paul Ofori-Amoah, who is the parliamentary candidate for the Agona West constituency representing the National Democratic Congress. You're most welcome to Constituency Connect.
Thank you, sir.
How's everything doing?
We are managing.
Right. Now, let me take the first question with you. Now, some months ago, about some 5 months ago, there was this massive demonstration that happened within the constituency or within the community, specifically the Swedro, community, and some drivers were agitating seriously about the fact that they had poor roads, and their roads specifically was in a deplorable state, and so they embarked on demonstration. Obviously, you also partook in that demonstration, and about some 30 drivers were arrested, were remanded. What is your take on that whole demonstration that happened and the way forward?
Yeah, Ivan, thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers as well. Greetings to my constituents, that's Agona West constituency. I think this is an issue which, I must say, it was not only even the drivers. We have the concerned youth of Agona Swedro who also organized the same demonstration on the same matter. And what happened, it was quite terrible. Swedro is a commercial business town of the Agona West constituency with a very deplorable road conditions, of which the NDC government previously started doing the road construction. But then along the line in 2016, we lost the elections. As such, all those projects had to come to a halt. In fact, from our investigation, we were informed that they were doing auditing, which it took us almost 3 years. And it had to take the drivers demonstrating, the concerned youth of Agona Swedro also doing another demonstration before they were able to continue the road. Now, the question many are asking is, what necessitated the stoppage or the delay in the continuation of the project? Because what we could see is the same contractor who was previously working about 4 years ago is the same contractor who is still working. So why the delay? What actually transpired? And why must people just be in the source for 17 days before we could do this thing? And it had to take my effort to get them a lawyer, and as well also to visit them on so many occasions whilst they were in source to ensure that they get their freedom. Because I call them as heroes, because they contributed in mounting such a pressure on the government to actually continue the road they stopped without any reason. And I think it's not only Agona Swedro. Now you look at Bobekuma and the rest. In fact, these are all roads the previous government wanted. In fact, we started doing it. Some opening up, some bypasses. We were doing all those roads. But unfortunately, all those roads have come to a halt. The reasons are best known to our current MP and then the government in power. We are hoping that now that they are almost through with the asphalting of the Swedro town roads, they will still continue with the other roads within the constituencies.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Ivan, for the first question. Mr. Paul Ofori-Amoah is the NDC parliamentary candidate for the Agona West constituency. He also doubles as program officer at the Japan International Cooperation Agency and in charge of Japan Overseas Cooperation Volunteer. Sir, kindly tell us a brief history about the constituency you are presiding to take over.
Yeah, Agona West is a constituency that I think that's the second largest constituency in the central region, okay, with a population of over 120,000, with a voter population of about 91,000. Swedro predominantly is the capital, and that's the capital, the commercial capital, as well as there's a commercial business town. We have other towns surrounding it. We have the Nyakrum, that also happens to be the second largest. And then we have the Abodom, the Bobekuma, Nkum, and then its surrounding villages. The outside Suedro, apart from Suedro, all the other communities are basically farming communities. They are into cocoa production, plantain, cassava, I mean, all those crop productions outside the community. And then it's a constituency with so much youthful exuberance. If I say youthful exuberance, much of the population are youthful of youthful age. We have a chunk of our population in the youthful age. And a major scar, a major issue in my constituency has to do with youth unemployment. As it were, the fact that you have majority of your populace being youthful, some of these issues are bound to happen. So we need to take pragmatic measures in addressing some of these issues. Yeah, constituency shares boundaries with the Gomwa Central, the Jumakun Enyan, the Esikuma Dabembrakwa, and then the Agona East constituencies. That's briefly about, I mean, I would say it's not politically, should I say it's predominantly MPP, but then NDC have won it on few occasions with Mr. Bempon, Honorable Samuel Opon, Honorable Lawyer Binkum. Obudai came 3 times, and then now we have Mamile Morrison, who is the current MP. So it's a constituency whereby we basically vote on issues. Okay. Yes, I would say it's a constituency whereby we vote on issues. People there really try as much as possible to weigh various MPs that have come before they take their various decisions. So I would say it's a swing constituency. To me, it's a swing constituency. And then it's basically based on the performance of the leader that will ensure whether you are going for the 2nd term or the 3rd term. And unfortunately, the NDC lost, not because the leader was not performing, but then we lost to lies. And yes, we
what
lost.
What do you mean by?
Oh yes,
lies?
I mean Ghana as a whole, we can all attest to the fact that we lost the 2016 elections to lies and propaganda and sweet talks. Yes. Major issues, major policies we talked about throughout the 2016 campaign have not been implemented or have not seen the light of the day. 1 million, one constituency, I don't know. My constituency, I don't know whether they've received it or not. 1 district, 1 factory, I don't know whether my district as Agona West will receive it or not. In fact, so many issues. So I think 2016, yes, we lost the seat, but then we lost it to lies and propaganda.
All right, thank you, sir. Moving on, today my question is basically is going to be based on your manifesto, your campaign promises. And so we'll take it one after the other, and then I'll ask you questions on the net. The first one is you said you are going to establish a grapes fruit factory and make it a signature project of Agona West. Why specifically grapes fruit factory and not any other else?
Yes, thank you very much. One thing about Paul is I'm not a type where I want to talk in a vacuum. I always want to make a point and then give evidence of whatever I'm talking about. I chose grape because this is something I'm doing personally, privately in my home, where I have these grapes, and then we've been using the grapes for wine. And I believe we can expand it to the constituency. So about 2 years ago, I took some lecturers from the University of Cape Coast to my area. We did some soil tests and the rest. So it's not even something I'm now coming to. It's something we've started the process.
Started already?
Yes, we've started
so
the
how
process.
has it been so far?
Yes, we are growing the grapes. So my hope is by next year, of which I know I'll be the member of parliament by then, we'll have the grapes in place. Then we'll start looking at the factory, establishment of the factory. That is because Agona West, as I said, is the 2nd largest constituency in Central Region, with Suedro being the capital. But then there's nothing there we can boost up. Absolutely nothing. What we have there is our market and then our lorry park. Every other thing you see within the constituency are through our own hustles and our own doing. So I believe it is time we have something we can also boost up. Because a lot of people know about Suedro. What do you know Suedro of? You can't point. You know Suedro. Oh, Suedro is a business town. Suedro, you have people selling, buying, going on there. But what is actually there that we can boost up? as native from Sweden. If you are not getting the government interventions, I'm sure privately we can also do something on our own. And that is how I believe a signature project like the grape wine factory will be established in the constituency, so that at least when I'm out of the constituency, I can boldly say, oh, I come from the constituency whereby we manufacture the grape wine. And you know, when you travel to South Africa, even the grapes, the tree itself serves as a tourist attraction. In fact, when you grow the grapes, and then they all grow, it gets to a time, it serves as a shade, a canopy form of shade, whereby it serves as a tourist site. People will go sit under. In fact, we have a big plan for the constituency. And I mean, this is a plan we've started executing. We are not waiting for us to be elected before. In fact, those who have been visiting me in my house, even in the constituency, I serve them with the grapes wine because I just want them to have the feel of it.
So did you bring some?
Unfortunately, I didn't bring some, but then I brought another product that I have through my initiative.
Oh, nice.
I have started within the constituency, of which I'll leave some with you. That is the soap making.
Soap making.
Yes. Yeah. The constituency, we had a place, we have a village we call the Ejebusia village. And what they were doing is they were doing coconut oil. So when I went there, I realized, oh, okay, these people need to improve their daily income. So what do? How can we support them, whatever they are doing? I took a Japanese there because I'm in charge of the Japan Overseas Cooperation Agency. I took a Japanese there, and then
I think we will come there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come there. The second one says establish an ICT center to harness the skills of the youth and create sustainable jobs, which is education. Yeah. And now, reading your profile today, I came across something that really caught my attention. During your national service, you were able to secure some computers for some secondary schools and communities in your constituency. Yeah. How were you able to do that, and why that?
Yes, Paul is one person who always has the constituency at heart. Wherever I've worked in, I worked as a research assistant with GIFEC, and you know, Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication. As at that time, we were doing the schools connectivity and the e-learning, the ICT connectivity.
Okay.
So whilst I was there, I remember Honorable Kofi Ato was the administrator. I spoke with him. And during that time, I was an assemblyman. Yes. And so I spoke with him that as an assemblyman, I need to do something for my people. So, in fact, all the schools, when you ask them, nobody brought a request. I was able to at least use my lobbying skills to lobby them to get each of the secondary schools had 20 computers. And I just called them on phone that they should come with their various vehicles to come and convey them. And then the two major towns, that is Nyakrum and then Swedro, they both have 20 computers for ICT center. The reason being that we realize that most of the youth in Swedro are very good when it comes to ICT. So how do we tap on this knowledge? Because when you go to India, India is developing because of their ICT skills. So the idea was, okay, let's train more in Microsoft applications, in web designing, in other computer applications, so that we will harness those skills to other organizations and then other companies. They will have the employable skills or something. That's how come we started that. But unfortunately, this government, I should say, they seem not to understand the need, or they didn't get the angle we were going. So they just have to leave it to rot. I'm sure when you ask my MP, she wouldn't even be able to tell you where the Nyakrumah ICT Center is.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm being honest. She will not be able to tell you where the Swedro ICT Center is. I'm being honest with you. Because I know they don't know that we have such facilities there. Because they seem not to be interested in the youth development. That is one thing I've seen. But then that is also one of my major focus areas, that with these skills with our youth, are we leaving them to go just like that? No, we have to harness these skills and then make good use of it. That's how come I said we will revamp, and then we will also establish more ICT centers in the other towns. And then I'm sure recently they were jubilating over a yet to start ICT center. Not already started, a yet to start ICT center in one of the towns in Agona West Constituency. And I was surprised. when I saw some of the communicators from their end jubilating over it, I thought it was completed and commissioned. I read the story and it was like, oh, we are yet to start. So, yet to start, and then there's this champagne popping and the rest. If you finish, then what will happen? Anyway.
Okay, so let me remind our viewers that we are in conversation with Mr. Paul Ofori Amwa. He's the NDC parliamentary candidate for Agona West constituency. And so you can send in your thoughts and your comment wherever you're watching us this evening to the number 0260-846539, 0260-846539. We also stream live on Facebook at Pan African Television. You can as well send your comments there. Tell us about the Swedro Masquerade Festival. It's in your manifesto. Tell us more about it.
Yes, as part of my agenda of putting Agona West on the map. You know, the last time I said I'm putting Agona West on the map, and people seem not to understand. Some people seem not to understand. If I talk about
how do you intend to put Agona West on the map?
Yes, doing things that will attract the eye of not only Ghanaians, but then the outside community. That will attract the interest, that people will start searching, oh, where is Agona West? They want to read more about Agona West. For example, our Masquerade Festival. Fortunately, we are even fortunate. Some of the youth have taken it up, they organize it, but then I want us to invest more in such a festival, because that is also another angle. Winneba, everyone in Ghana, when you mention Winneba Festival, until recently, they've politicized it. When you mention 1st January, everyone knows Winneba Masquerade. I want Agona West we should also have 26th December, which we also start as a day everyone would like to come to Agona Swedro. Why? Because of our Masquerade Festival we'll have there. So I've started already engaging the various groups. This year, I was at the park myself, and then I made some donation to them. My plan is to ensure that we get them some brass band, because I realized they rent their brass bands from outside. So I want us to invest in them.
But don't you think you've shifted all your attention to Agona Swedro? The constituency is a large constituency.
Yes.
But it looks as if, following your comments, it looks as if you are focused only on Agona Swedro.
The grapes, for example, Agona Swedro, we cannot cultivate grapes there. It's going to be cultivated outside, within the communities outside Swedro. The ICT center is not only Swedro. We are looking. I mentioned that we had one even in Yakro, which the MP will not be able to locate.
So far, Yakro and Agona
Swedro, and then the ICT center will not be only. It will be the major towns.
Okay.
All the major towns will have an ICT center, because we have these youth with these skills within all the various towns. So that one we are going to establish it across board. But then with the fancy dress, with the Masquerade Festival, it's Swedro that has started. And in fact, I've also got in touch with the Yakro Masquerade. I want us to also repackage it, because Swedro, they started from a point, and then at least they have gotten ahead of Yakro. So you support them, and we are also looking at introducing so many things that will attract the eye of Ghanaians and then the other international communities.
Okay, so the next point says, I'll personally facilitate the recruitment of the youths into prisons, police, army, etc., without any connection or middlemen to avoid exploitations. You're going to create jobs. Yes. How are you going to do this?
Yes, and these are issues I've started. In fact, I'm sure if you open the phone lines, you have some of them commenting, because since I became an assembly member, I've been able to have this relationship with prisons, the police, whereby people buy the forms, I take them, and then I use my own connections. You know, working with JICA too has given me some level. Which
connections?
Not connection, but personal relationship.
Okay.
Yes, with authorities, with human resources and the rest. Yes, personal relationship, let me put it that way. With my personal relationship with these people, I'm able to lobby. You know, as a leader, being a lobbyist is part of your qualities. A leader must be able to lobby for projects, infrastructure, and other things. And that's what I've been doing. And even just today, I was able to secure a license for 3 people. They came from the constituency. And this is as a result of my own lobbying skills. And I have some of them already in the prison service. And I've asked them that when the police and the prison and the military also come out, they should get the forms. I'll use the same personal relationship I have with these authorities to ensure that we get our members in there. that is creating job opportunities for the teeming youth.
Okay, you rent houses in Accra, Takoradi, Kumasi to help accommodate Agona West job seekers for a minimum of 6 months. This looks more confusing. Can you expatiate?
Yes, what I realized was sometimes you have these HR organizations, recruitment organizations I deal with. So you talk to them and then they get these job opportunities for our youth. And now the issue is when they come, where will they stay? Becomes an issue. So what I've taken upon myself is to get a 5-bedroom apartment in Accra.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Yes. And then at least when you come, a fresh job seeker, you cannot rent. You need a place to lay your head for a period. 6 months. Yes. Okay. At least 6 months. If you are taking a salary of, let's say, 500 cedis, you should be able to save something.
That sounds.
So that after the 6 months, we will lobby again when we get another opportunity. Others will also come. And then we'll house them for some time, because I'm always putting myself in the shoe. I remember when I came to Accra at first, I didn't know anybody. So you come, you roam, a job seeker, you come and roam, and then at the end of the day, you have to pick up back to Shedro late in the night, because you don't have a place to sleep. And I don't want a situation whereby I'll see my people sleeping in stores. No, I don't want such a situation. So rather, I will use my own resources, rent for them, get in some student mattresses for them. You come in as a job seeker, or we secure the job for you. You come for the first 6 months, we'll give you a place to lay your head, so that you will not be found wanting, roaming in town. Because sometimes you get a job for the person, place to stay becomes a difficulty, so either he or she doesn't come at all. So we are taking that burden off, so that at least for the first 6 months, you have a place to lay your head, you work, you save, you move out, somebody will also come. And I have a policy that I will name that place Agona West House. In fact, anybody from Agona West, you can even transit there. Yes. We have some guys learning how to drive in town and the rest, and they are sleeping in cars, which I don't think. You go to Kashima and they are there, plenty. I don't think it's appropriate. If we have such a facility, we will house these people. At least for them, they are doing their own hustle. So we provide shelter for them. I mean, it's something that is, it's within our means. We should be able to do it if we really want to say.
All right. So I think Ivan has something for you. So Ivan, over to you.
All right. So yeah, I have lots of messages pouring, especially on Facebook. I'm going to read them one by each. And this one is coming from AC Ghana Budget. AC Ghana Budget. All right. He says that the people of Agona West should be very proud to have you. This one says that yes, you are the right person. Paul Ofori Amwa, NDC lost 2016 election to the lies and sweet talks. The people of Ghana have now learnt their lessons. All right, thank you very much for your message. This one is coming from Samuel Wilberforce. He says that these are very well thought out plans which will help create jobs in the Agona West constituency, not the pack of lies that we were served with in 2016. All right, thank you very much, Samuel. This one's coming from Alfred Oba Wilson. He says that he who gives out of the little he has will surely give out when he has plenty. This summarizes Honorable Paul. Okay, so you make it Honorable POA persona. He is a giver and. Okay, all right. This one is coming from Peter Wallace. He says NDC indeed lost to the pathetic lies to the MPP 2020 in rescue mission. This is coming from Anochi Carlos. He says Agona West have a seat to protect POA on a rescue mission. This one is coming from Musa Osumanu. He says you and the Savior JDM will come victors in the 2020 elections, inshallah. He says. This one is coming from Kofi Banks. He says God bless you, POA. Following you alone has opened doors for some of us. We can't wait for you to finally take over. This one is coming from Fago Lukuno. Okay, he says listening to my brother, his composure, I wish him well. This one is coming from Christo, the boss chick. It says Christo from Swedo, we appreciate your efforts towards the youths within the Agona West constituency, giving job opportunities. Agona West U 2020 POA. All right, this one is coming from Kojo from Pond Mansu Jr. He says, such a nice gentleman, Agona West will surely reward you. And I have one coming from Pet Kotov Nana Kojo Boaje. It says that the hope of Agona West is in. God bless you, Paul Ofori Amwan. All right, God bless you too. This one is coming from Ohene Kosti. He says that Ohene Kosti, Agoma West, I know him for long. I know Okay, you said I know him for long and he is the right person to lead Agona West. Okay. This message is coming from Bra Y Parisi. He says that wish you all the best, Honorable. I have one coming from Fadi Kafuta. It says, Honorable Paul Ofoyamwa, we behind you, sir. Much love from Laguna Swedro. This one says that very great speech. Bro YPZ. This one is coming from Fadi Kafuta. It says, keep doing you and the good works. This one says that best man for the Agona man, we also deserve better. It's coming from Ryan Atemadu. Okay. I have one coming from Yao Asoma Backman. He says that best man for Agona West. He said, thank you very much. Incoming MP Daniel Lovas. Okay. Fadi Kaftan also comes again and says, Agona West youth is behind you, sir. There are a lot of messages coming. Let me take this message. This is coming from Muhammad Ibrahim Al Hassan. He says, good afternoon to you, Pan African Television. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. Regards. Sorry. Keep it up and always trust your good. Okay, the message is not too clear. And this one is coming from Bernard. He says that the district has been waiting for is in now. Okay, so Ivy, let me take some messages that have come on that have poured in on WhatsApp. Let me take about 4 of them and we can just wrap up on the message. This one says that I'm Kofi from Cape Coast. Oh, excuse me. This one says that I am Kofi from Cape Coast, watching you live. Ask Honorable Paul, there was this issue of expired ice creams, which was distributed by the Honorable Cynthia Morrison, the gender minister, which was circulating on social media. How true is it? Please, I want more explanation. All right, I'm going to make sure he answered that question. This one says that Honorable Paul. This one says that okay. Okay, let me take 2 messages that we can wrap up. It says, Honorable, you are the best. Very good speech. God bless you more. By the grace of God, 2020 election, you will win your portion. Okay. You mean it will be his portion. This one says that he's the right person. Oh, these messages are not coming. I see the message, but they're not viewing. All right, so last message. This one says, Pan African TV, good evening. And I'm very grateful to have such a wonderful guy to be my PC for the Agona West. Agona man, Mpuntu is on so join the train. Kennedy from I beg your pardon for not being able to mention the name. I mean you meant Mpuntu. Yes, Mpuntu. Honorable, so let me just pose this question to you. Now there's this issue. One tester just put it in right now. It says there was this issue of some expired products that were served to the constituents within the lockdown prior to coronavirus and all that. How true, he wants to know how true that is. I mean, I think given the fact that you are the PC representing the NDC and they are vying for you to become the member of parliament, and next they want to ask how true that is. I mean, they've been hearing it a couple of times and very flashing on social media and all that. How true is that?
Yes, thank you very much. I think it's very true. About, should I say, 4 days ago, I was in the constituency and then I had a call that my MP was in one of the areas doing some distribution. And unfortunately, some of the items she was distributing had already expired. So out of curiosity, I asked that they get me a sample. I mean, I want evidence. So they brought it, and I think the distribution was being done on the 24th, and the thing expired on the 23rd. But then, honestly, the seriousness of it is, I was surprised when I saw some of the commentators trying to justify it. Because if you are a scientist and then you know this ice cream, when it comes to ice cream, yogurt, and the rest, the probiotic substance in it, let's say when we say it's going to expire on the 23rd, meaning it has even expired weeks before the 23rd because of the substance, the chemicals we add to it. So when I saw it, I was a bit surprised, but then unfortunately, they came out trying to defend it, giving so many stories. Later, some people went to her, and then she said maybe the things were plenty in her house, they couldn't check it, and I was more like, come on, that's not. How will I know? How will I know? Because, if you have not performed over the period, and then you want to use ice cream to buy votes, you'll be exposed. This is just a classical expose because he is using ice cream. Now, Agona West, they are chipping us to ice cream 3 cedis, 1 tuber of yam, 2 eggs, and they don't distribute those things during the daytime.
What did you do for your constituency?
Oh, yes. Over the years, in fact, people are saying poor, 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 poor. Not just because... Yes, I'm coming to it. I wouldn't wait for COVID-19 before I act. I've been acting since. Last year Christmas, I distributed 11,200 bags of rice to my constituents. Each person I gave, all market women.
For real?
Yes, I am not supposed to wait for COVID-19 before I support the needy if I have the means. No, that one I wouldn't be a good leader. During this COVID-19, those who came from Accra to Agona West, the Kwashiman guys, they called on me that they needed transport. I supported them. The Sotium guys, I supported them to go back to their various villages and towns. I've distributed Veronica buckets, over 300 Veronica buckets. For sanitizers, even to date, I'm still distributing sanitizers. Nose masks, I've distributed over 3,000 nose masks. And we are still distributing because I believe now, I have a feeling that the COVID has come to stay. So what do? We need to take the prevention measures. So that's basically what we are doing. I keep on distributing these things. I wouldn't wait for a pandemic to happen before I take an action. No, that is not Paul. I always take action before even the pandemic. So, I mean, the expired product is a way of God exposing you. I put it that way. It's a nice way God had to expose her. That, hey, you don't take the people for granted. You don't wait till the 4th year in your term, and then you come at night to come and give us expired ice cream. And an old woman at age of 60 years, you are going to give him an ice cream worth 3 cedis. What is that woman going to use that thing for? Old women need their health conditions. You need to do frequent medical checkups for them. Not you need to go and do distribution of ice creams for them. You call school children and then you are giving them ice creams. They need textbooks. They need textbooks and exercise books. Now that they are home, they need books to read. They don't need ice creams. We've passed that stage of politics. You know, it seems whilst we are planning, Agona West, we are trying to move ahead of time. They are still in the business of, okay, election year, I have these things there, let me distribute it. Let me go and distribute these things to these people, they will go and vote for me. Without adherence to any social distancing measure. They were just clumps together. In fact, we had the videos of all of them. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. And my only prayer is all those who took those expired products wouldn't have any negative effect on them. Yes, but then it's true. It's really happened. And I'm sure anytime you get the opportunity, she can explain, but then I believe it's the handiworks of God trying to expose you that you should have worked. You don't wait for last minute. I'm sure more expose will even come. This is just ice cream. The ones that are coming will be bigger than this.
Okay, we'll be opening the phone lines very soon. And so the number is 03029088718. 03029088718. I'll ask you my last question, but I have these 2 videos for you. And so let's go and watch the video. If my producer can hear me clearly, let's go and watch these 2 videos. We return back.
Last demonstration, and I prompt you more. I'm over here patching. And you're patching the Agona Federal. The asphalt construction now, airport since 3 years ago. You better try a bank. You go to do a form. I'm continue asphalt project near my.
Now, class, I can say, we are talking.
After the 1 month, on him, there were so many ways to kill. This is said 1 month of the so now a bino and to be a win. Swedro youth mobile, and by Yakmina Maya. But we have other legal means, you bet me adopt here, you bet me a binding Baba to our aid. No more by yet road Namaya. Because projects are not air cost under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, new president ever take over now. All those projects were halted. But to your knowledge, almost the eastern region, most of the contracts were allowed to continue. But in central region, only by it's Agona Swedro to be precise. Yang na ya fre abaya sutura ban say yesrem. Omumbra no mbehwe ye kwan no omu ye maye. Ye mpesika emfre aban ho. Omu ye kwan ni maye na yetimi koba na ye adwuma na sika enkwa ye botom ye da mo afi.
All right, the videos are two, so let's watch the other one, please.
Means as a demonstrate. Inside demonstration, you ain't just on there, you just watch now. I'm saying, Sanda, Yehuda, or Tina, you're back from that. Oh, there, your vote to Uncle West. Don't tell me, you can vote to my enjoy. So, we're ready. Yes, we are ready. Police officers, then better soon now, mobile. Agona, mobile, you may be I didn't know what you may be because you said we are paying for Mushiado in Bayada. Let them say, then Musumu pay for no. And Musumu, I'm going to call MC in office. And it's appropriate again because as an expert, when you say security council for me share for discussions, it's possible say might meet on this demonstration. MC we are say in the Yapan office. It's MC when you mention ya, you from the account, but the problem is that yeah the young say about MC then security council for me share for discussions. No man to man chance and on to any for this petition. Yeah, much and said. Yeah, we no. You better say about by December ending. We will come back again because demonstrations will end in there until them trucks is empty. Overload with asphalt items. Never let me. We're not ending this demonstration until ended. Let them say. I'm saying. I'm there. Dana taxi drivers for review the Netina, my yet nearby. Into Yadu when you know, Obian in the lane, no conifia, some people. Now I'm got to HSA. Then whatever Agona, Yatina Gumwa, Apiga, into Yampada Damas and Yabeti, 7 years only, in Penifuna by Abaso, into Mama Yaraso, Yambo Yamabas, no Bian Conifia Damas.
Back from the video break, sir, looking at the first video about road network, do you think you are well positioned to solving these challenges confronting your constituency? And the second video, what was the agitation about?
Yes, first of all, let me thank the youth of Agona Swedro. This is basically the youth of Agona Swedro who demonstrated. I actually took part because I'm also a youth in Agona West. So I took part in that demonstration. And the funny thing is, when this demonstration was going on, you had the people from the minister's camp, my MP's camp, saying, oh, this is NDC. And now I'm asking myself, now that the road is asphalted, is it being used by only NDC members? We are all benefiting from it. As a result of the effort these youths pushed on the authorities to ensure that the road is fixed. But then, as I was saying, it's not only Swedro. The other towns, we started doing their roads to Abodom, Bobikuma, and the rest, but then they've stopped. And I hope by the time this social gathering ban is lifted, they will hear from us, from the other towns. We must also start mounting pressure on them, that wherever the NDC government stops, they must come and continue. Because we were doing from Nyakro through Kwaman to Bobikuma to all the other towns. But then because we lost power, the project also lost. And I mean, so the agitation was, they were supposed to send a petition to the MCE. But unfortunately, you know this, sometimes we politicians, but then it's not part of our NDC culture, the MPP. Whenever they ask for, they try to run from the trouble. So when they were submitting the petition, the MCE was away. In fact, she was actually in the office, I know. I'm sure she would tell them she was not there. Maybe she was there. I know them. That's their nature. Oh, you know, I've been a planning officer before, and I remember as a local government staff, when they bring in the petition, as a planning officer, the FCU say, when they come, tell them I'm not there. Driver, move the car away, and the car will not be there. So you think, so with that experience, I will not be surprised. So the youth they had them so much zeal that they still insisted that if they don't meet anybody, they will come again, they will go and go and go till they meet the chief executive to hand over their petition. And I applaud them for that. They did marvelously well. And that is the level of measuring accountability I expect from my constituents, that our leaders must be accountable to us. They must not take us for a ride. No.
Okay, so tell us about the soap making and palm kernel.
Yes, I was talking about it. Evidence. This one I brought evidence. It's called Natural Gift Soap. I know my MP is not even aware this is being manufactured in the constituency. I know for a fact that she is not aware. It's done at Ejebusia. There is a village in Agona West called Ejebusia. What they were doing, the coconut oil. So when I went...
Let me read. Coconut and palm oil soap. Our soap is great for cleansing and conditioning of whole body. It's made with naturally derived ingredients. Coconut oil, palm oil, water, caustic soda flavor. So this is it. Natural gifts.
Yes. And the contact there is...
I think it should be zoomed for our viewers to see clearly.
And the contact there is a resident in Ejebusia, so they can pick it up and then call her. It's a resident in Ejebusia.
So this is a natural product?
A natural product from the village. Beautiful. You know, they were doing coconut oil. So when I visited, we realized that, oh, they can add something up and then it will improve their standard of living. So I introduced a Japanese there and said, oh, they can use the coconut oil, add the flavor and the rest, and then they will get the soap out of it. So we taught them, in fact, I have pictures and videos, we taught them how to do it. We provided them with basic equipment for them to be able to manufacture this. And after the manufacturing, they were complaining of getting the market. So what I did was, I had a meeting with them, the community members, and I introduced them to a Ohio market. It's in Accra here. It's a Japanese market. Ohio, yes. And since this is a Japanese who taught them how to do it, any quantity they produce, they just bring it to Ohio market and then they buy everything for them. Haven't we created job opportunity for them? And this is another thing I'm looking at when I'm elected as a member of parliament, to expand it. I'm not the type, maybe I might not have the resources, I would say I'm coming to splash yam and egg at night, expired ice cream during the daytime, two cups of rice to the aged. No, I wouldn't do that. But rather, Paul will do a national health insurance for the aged. I will do a quarterly health screening for the aged. I will buy textbook and exercise books for the children. I will not buy ice cream for the children. I'll buy textbooks for children, exercise books for children. Those who are interested in a village, interested in producing this, I'll give them the requisite skills and the equipment for them to be able to manufacture this soap. Now I'm looking at how we are going to brand it. It's a new product. So we are looking at how we are going to package it nicely. Yes, to win the market.
Okay, so we have our first caller. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good evening. My name is Matthew. I'm calling from Kumasi.
Okay, so what do you have to say?
I just want to find a parent of the mother.
Sure, speak to him.
In fact, I'm entitled to a list of mother to put for people who live in this country. Some who have the list as half. And I, in particular, I wish I could transfer my vote from Kumasi to vote for me. Because these are the type of people who need them in this country. So that we will come to you to them forward. I think it's all the best, and I say that we don't have that needs to, and if I do, then we have the money. Thank you.
All right, thank you for calling us. So that was a caller from Kumasi. You can also call 0302 908 718, 0302 908 718.
Yes, so as I was saying, if you have an MP who will boldly sit on radio station and then tell you, oh, for me, for the past 3 years, I have not touched my common fund. I want to use it to renovate stadium. The next moment, you hear her saying, oh, the market women should go to the stadium. I want to use it to renovate town hall. One common fund, he doesn't know what you are supposed to use it for. Meanwhile, we have a community wanting to do this. And you sit on air telling us that 3 years you've not touched your common fund. This is an insult to we the constituents. No two ways about it.
Hello? Hello? Okay, I think we've lost that caller. So.
And if not, I mean, we must thank God that COVID also came. I'm sure if COVID had not come, people even didn't know that we have an MP by such a name. Because the COVID came and then the gender ministry was seen working. I mean, doing something, so the name came out. But then if I tell you I want to put Agona West on
hello.
Hello, good evening. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Agona.
What's your name, please?
Abenkwai.
Abenkwai.
Yes,
Okay, Abenkwai, please go ahead.
That is it. On a football, in the Mapa, or Agona West, good Yahoo, Agona West, and everyone is the family standard internal only programs where we hand that way. You have to ready to do 5 I think one year I think that on our on my phone, I don't know to that you shall offer to learn the Mapa. That's your direction.
Abenkwai, thank you so much. So that was a caller from Agona Swedru, Abenkwai. Thank you, Abenkwai, for calling us this evening. Honorable, our time.
Whilst JM is rescuing Ghana, Agona West needs to be double rescued because we are in the wrong hands. And we will do everything within our might and our will to ensure that we win and then win convincingly. And we assure the people of Agona West that Paul Oforiamwa will not be a leader who will wait till election time before he will start acting. I've always been acting over the years. They've known me through my works and then whatever I've done for the constituency. We are getting the opportunity to enhance it and then to do more of whatever we've been doing over the years. That's why I always tell people, I'm not a promising type. No. I want to be a doer and an action person. So I thank them for the support so far, but then let's all put our hands on deck. Let's all fight till the ballot is counted so that we all be out victorious.
Okay,
thank you.
I think you've already said your final words to your people.
Yep.
Yes, and so people of Agona West constituency, you've heard it for yourself, and so I'm not going to conclude. You are in the soup, so you know how to judge for yourself. Today on Constituency Connect, our guest has been Mr. Paul Oforiamwa, NDC parliamentary candidate for the Agona West constituency. Sir, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. We do appreciate your time. So my name is Ivy Abnadedinakite. Big thanks to the production crew, to Elizabeth Mafo, to Tijani, Kamre Tijani, to Sewa PSA, yes, and to my handsome cameraman behind the camera. I did this with my colleague Ivan Bans. Enjoy the rest of our programs.